Have you ever wanted to throw your younger sibling out of the window because he stole your first place in Mario Kart right before the finish line? If that's the case, then you have some form of experience with racing games. I don't think I need to explain what racing games really are. You have a car or weird car, you drive car against other car, laps until you are a car at first place and win. They can range from being extremely banking on realism for driving, physics and environments, or just throw away the realism and do their own thing with it. I guarantee that most people who live with the chronic disease of being a natural born gamer have had their first experience with Mario Kart Wii specifically. But I'm not talking about any very well known series that has existed to this very day. I want to name a duology that no one seems to talk about anymore, and with this next part you'll see why I want to talk about it. So put in your seatbelts, and I mean everyone, I know that some of you don't. I see you. And let me tell you about the Excitetruck duology. To truly start talking about this first game, let's flash back to the early 2010s. When I was just a small kid, I had a lot to play with. I used to have a tablet where I played a lot of mobile games on it, like Turbo Dismount, Angry Birds, Bad Piggies, and all the stuff a kid like me would have in the 2010s. I was also watching two German Minecraft YouTubers at the time. One of them I mentioned in the Edgy video. Back then, watching them was such a vibe, and it made me want to do a multiplayer mod playthrough too. But hey, maybe one day. Sadly, nowadays they broke apart, fell off, and also seem to be intertwined in their own drama. I guess nothing stays forever perfect. But aside that, we had PSP, a silver one and a green one, where we played Daxter on it, and some quad driving game. They were neat, but I never finished any of them. Hell, I don't even know what to do in the quad one, I was just driving. We also had a PS3. That's the end of that story, but the biggest breadwinner was our Wii. We had an SD card with over 300 games on it, with so many different games of all sorts. Mario Party 8, Wii Motion, Mario Party Deluxe Suite, which for some reason never worked, and strangely enough Mario Kart Wii twice. But there's one game I remember being on there, one race, it's Excitetruck, yeah, it's Excitetruck. I have only faint memories of playing it, but I remember being really bad at it. You have to keep in mind, I was a stupid kid. Nowadays I'm a stupid adult. Something changed, but if you think about it, it really didn't. Anyways, 10 years later and we have a Switch now, I have a PC that I use for basically anything, and I couldn't remember what the name of the game was anymore. So I looked on some ROM sites, looked up racing game, and lo and behold I saw the cover, immediately got hit with a nostalgia stop gun. The Trump jumping into the lens with motion blur everywhere and the kick-ass font of the title. Oh, when I went to get a copy of the game legally for my legally owned Nintendo Wii, I was a bit worried revisiting this game that I last played like 10 years ago. I thought to myself, was I looking for rose-tinted glasses with this childhood game of mine? Is it not as good as I remember? This game fucking slaps. Don't mind me as I kick my previous self in the stomach thinking, no, believing that this game was mid. What were the reviewers thinking? Perhaps nothing ever excited them. As soon as I got this game, I played it for so long. The sheer velocity you can reach in the game, the feel of playing it is just so wonderful. For a game that on the first look appears like a shovelware throwaway game. Anyways, I have two games to cover, so let's get into this one piece by piece. In Excitetruck, you drive truck. Next section. In Excitetruck, you drive against 5 other CPUs on courses all around the world. Strangely enough, getting first place isn't the main goal. The main goal for passing a course and unlocking new courses is pulling off tricks to earn stars, and the amount of stars you earn determines your rank at the end. So getting your first place isn't the main objective, it's pulling off 6 stunts and ending up at first place. So what about those stars? You can earn stars by pulling off long drifts, high air time, crashing into other cars hard enough, performing a risky tree run in which you drive through trees without crashing, flinging cars into the air, flying through loops, and pulling off an airspin, god damn it. Speaking of the flinging and ring flying, they don't appear out of nowhere, but with the help of these event icons, power-ups, honestly I don't know what to call them, pick up any of them and anything can happen. A mountain will appear so you can jump off them, which you can use to fling other cars around as I mentioned previously. Rings can appear off ramps and help you earn points, if you can hit them that is. If it's not that, they can also just cause landslide or volcano eruptions and create various other stage hazards to mess with the other racers. There's also one other power-up you have to look out for, and it's the invincibility one. Once you pick it up, you get insane speeds and crash through everything, destroying cars and even trees, which are normally indestructible. It also plays emergency vehicle siren noise while it's active. Oh, speaking of speeds, I forgot the major gameplay trait, the turbo. During the races you have a turbo meter. Use it too much, however, and you get in a burnout state where it's unusable for a short time. However, driving through water resets the turbo and it doesn't get spent at all, as long as you're in water, however. That turbo is extremely useful for performing jump boosts over ramps and keeping up with the other races. Keep in mind, as soon as any race starts, every CPU uses their turbo immediately, so you better stick that gear shift into the sidewalk speed enough and go. Turbo also makes the race much more exciting due to the sheer speed you can reach. Mario Kart 200cc can only get me so far, but drifting into this game and speeding through the laps make me stim so hard I'll make a drone strike look like a splash in a puddle. Alright, I think that was enough about the gameplay, let's carry on. After you've selected a track, you get to choose what card you want to use for it. At the beginning you have a small selection of trucks to choose from, but after you get enough stars you unlock more and more. All of them have different stats and handling, speed and... Okay, let's be honest here, for any racing game you may have played, do you really care about stat differences? They change almost nothing about playstyle gameplay, and their stat weaknesses make up with other stat strengths. So this is really a big deal. I choose based on looks, and I'm really feeling like Big Truck today. And perhaps after 3 rounds with Big Truck, I'll choose Small Truck. After choosing a truck, you can also select your color of choice and then get going. Now here's some cool completionist stuff. For all the keen-eyed viewers, you might have seen the counter next to the cars. If you manage to fill out the S ranks of the completed races, you unlock a new look of the car. All they really get are more sponsor stickers and slight pattern additions, but they're a cool thing to unlock regardless. And here's another really cool thing I noticed after playing some more during the making of the script. Perhaps you might have noticed in some of the backgrounds footage that there are rally cars that aren't normally playable. Now this is something I found kinda disappointing while playing, because I'm gonna be honest, I like trucks, but I like some more variety. And yes, I know I'm playing Excitetruck and not Excite various amounts of culturally different vehicles, but after you've played every track, that I'm going to talk about in a bit, and completed it with an S rank, you unlock Super Excite mode, which has one more cup called Diamond Cup. And when you go to car selection, yep, there it is. It's black. Adding more cars really makes completing the rest more interesting, and it's cool seeing them make the harder difficulty not completely uninteresting. Oh my god, what the fuck is that? Let's go. In the normal Excite modes, there's 4 cups with 4 to 5 tracks in them, adding up in total about... Every track is based on location of the real world. We have China, Mexico, Scotland, Fiji, Finland, Canada. For some reason, I didn't know this as a kid because, again, I sucked ass at this game. In the final Diamond Cup, which you get in the Super Excite mode after getting an S rank in every race on the normal mode, they just go, whatever, fucking, I don't know, Nebula. I like this. I really like this. Most of the courses take 2 laps to complete, and during them you have to get as many stars as possible, as I said before. There's a lot of shortcuts and alternate routes on the tracks to make the race more interesting. Many of the shortcuts are either leading through trees or lead above mountains, giving you a winning chance. But only if you're either skilled enough or careful enough, because remember, crash into one tree and you lose that chance for the shortcut. I think my favorite parts of the courses are the sections when they're flooded, because that means you can boost as long as you want without having to worry about anything. Well, except trees. Aside that, going for the races can be really fun. One issue I really have with them, however, is that they can feel a little boring after a while. But that's fine, nothing is perfect. If you have something you think is the peakest thing of all and won't admit that it has a bad part anywhere, I don't trust you. But let's move on to... I've heard from sources inside my head and some wiki pages how the soundtrack for this game was generic rock music, and I'm like... Rock is a very popular genre, so it makes sense that they start blending in with each other after a while. But here the music fits absolutely with the adrenaline bleeding everywhere. There's one gameplay touch I really adore that happens when you're in the air for long enough. That is so fucking cool. I mean, yeah, wow, it's a fade out, but it makes the airtime seem even cooler. Leave me alone. Now, if you think the music is getting a bit boring and you'd rather want to listen to something like Radiohead or something, you're in luck. Because this game actually allows you to use MP3 files on your Wii SD card. Yeah, SD card. And it uses these files as race music. Oh wait, hold on. I could of course just play Second Sight Zero, any Will Wood song, because yeah, it's a very exciting song, but I have an even better idea. Yeah, baby, Eurobeat racing music! That is so cool. But that's really all I have to say about the music, so let's get the rest out of the way for this game. Aside the normal Excite modes, with Super Excite unlocked after beating every normal course in S rank, a mirror mode being unlocked after doing the same to Super Excite, what is the else of the game? There's the challenge, which are, you guessed it, challenges where you need to drive through zones, crash cars, and etc. Then there's tutorial, which teaches you the ropes and makes you notice how fucking hard it is to pull off an airspin. I do the motion like it's supposed to be performed, but it refuses to corroborate. And every time I do it, I don't know how. And because this is a racing game after all, you can play versus against your friend, but it's just one person for an early 2000s racing game. And online wasn't a thing yet. And yeah, that's the game. You have records where you can see your stats during playtime, unlock trophies after getting some achievements, and that's the game. I was really happy revisiting this game I used to play, but it wasn't without noticing some issues. First, I don't know if it was my emulator, but during card selections the models would just shit themselves. Then the versus mode, which could really deserve a 4-player mode, or some other modes as well. And I wish you could see when you unlocked other cars instead of just hoping the lock in front of their models would just dissipate. But these negatives don't weigh down the experience of this game at all. I recommend all of you who own a Wii or Wii Woo to seek out this game if you want a wild racing experience. But let's move on. After the game came out, and it was a launch title for the Wii in North America as well, it gained a lot of popularity. It was the 9th best-selling game for the Wii on November 26, and with it came a lot of praise. It received the E3 Game Critics Awards for Best Racing Game, and it got Wendy's Toys in America. They got eBay, back me up. Yes! No, they don't ship to Germany. But everyone was humbled by its success, and so in 2009, only in America and Japan by the way, we got the sequel Excitebots Trick Racing. I never knew about the sequel. Back then I wasn't really aware of gaming news, but as of a few months ago, I found out about the sequel and started digging into it. First, the cover art.
That is not a bug. That is a frog.
Well, that's interesting. We've moved to robots now. No longer pure American Sia, now it's just Eva Max. But I can live with that. Let's check the wiki page. 0 out of 10, goodbye! Disclaimer, since this game is technically an upgraded version of the first game, I'll only mention the things that changed, because repeating myself would just be stupid and I don't wanna do that. So for the first taste, just start off with the first race. Let's pick the Beetle, cause damn I love bugs. I'm picking the blue color, cause it's close to turquoisey, and I love that color, as you can see. And let's go. Get it off! Get it off! Get it off! What are these? Did I see you in the one Michael Jackson Mansion Ghost sighting video? Oh, never mind the vehicles again. Now, is this sequel, which released a year after Mario Kart Wii and 3 years after Excitetruck, an improvement or just a shoddy attempt to make it better? I'm afraid to report that sales numbers lied. It's so good. First off, the races are not much wilder. The event icons now not only change the terrain like usual, but also award you with bowling pins to hit or soccer ball to kick in a goal. It's basically, instead of drive the courses like in the old game, it now goes drive the courses, but if you drive by this baby stroller you get 10 points, 5 extra if it hits the target 10 meters away from it, and these are everywhere on the track. Maybe even too much? I'm really not sure, because at the end of the day it's awesome. Throw the pie into the clown's face, shoot a touchdown, score a goal, hit the dart, rescue the butterflies, hit a strike, run over the group of kindergartners, everything. This yellow and red pose where you can automatically extend your robotic arm to swing off of. The red one is in every course and requires you to move your Wiimote like you're on a robot, trying not to fall off a waterfall. Yellow ones are optional ones that give you a huge speed boost, but only if you swing the Wiimote at the right time to jump off. If you fail, however, your car still launches, but now it's flaming through the air. However, if you can move your Wiimote correctly, you can essentially save yourself and still be able to keep driving without crashing. My favorite thing to happen is to perform that safe landing, then immediately run into a tree. Shit, so loony might be a tune. Speaking of crashing, they completely changed the boost comeback mechanic from the last game. Instead of having to spam 2 until you got a carpet tunnel, you can now shake the Wiimote and it's much quicker than before. The courses are now much more colorful and vibrant. Look at the skyboxes, my god are they pretty. The environments returned from Excitetruck, but now we have new environments such as Egypt, Kilimanjaro, Tasmania and Guatemala. And just like last time, there's the Nebula racetrack returning from Excitetruck. The racing music has now gone from rock music to what I would like to call 2000 slimy hacker music and funky tunes. I love the new music. I miss the true-blooded American rock music, but this suffices well, especially like this track. The car selection, or rather the bot selection, is great as well. I'm a big fan of weird, silly bugs, and I can confirm that in this 2009 video game on the North American game, which never came out in Europe by the way, there are bugs. The animations for when they shift during jumps and when they turn bipedal are so neat. Another thing I like is that you can now see how to unlock new cars, as they unlock behind stars that you can earn from races. It's kind of annoying though, considering that they also lock colors behind that. That's fine, I'm not gonna flip out, I'll be fine. I can't just color black like I did before. Alright, now that we got to the main game, gameplay, courses, bots, and music out of the way, let's cover the rest of the mode. Of course we have super excited mirror tracks, just like in the last game. However, now finally, after the first one disappointed us, Excitebots finally still has only 2-player versus. Oh yeah, online mode. In this offline mode, you can drive in 6-player races through the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection service. There's even poker race, where you can put bets on who wins, and the winner then gets all the stars, helping them unlock more bots, colors, and player icons. Unfortunately, because the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection shut down years ago, it's now impossible to play anything online anymore. Hey, to interrupt the flow I just made, I'm currently looking for a way to play this game online with my emulator. If I find a way to play this without having to buy a whole Wii and homebrew it, I will provide you guys with some gameplay. Hey, to interrupt again, I couldn't. Whenever I tried, it just wouldn't work. And before you say, oh, but you should have checked out Reconnect, I did, and it didn't work. From what I've gathered, if I really wanted to make it work, I should have gotten a real homebrewed Wii with a CD and then managed to connect them. With the plan I was going on, it would have gone nowhere. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But we have to move on. Aside that, we have some minigames, which are the event minigame things from the Excite races, but just as standalone minigames, short races, and options. Overall, this game was a huge improvement in visual style, gameplay, and charm overall. It would be nice to see a Switch remaster done for those two, considering that the trademark for the Excitebike series is still owned by Nintendo, and the Joy-Cons still have motion functionality. But if you're asking me, that's incredibly unlikely to happen, considering that they're working with the Switch 2 and more some mainstream stuff. Speaking of the people who made things, let's look at the monster games for the last section of this video, considering they're the people who made it in the first place. So, looking at their development history in Wikipedia, they've worked on mainly racing games from 1998 up to the 2 games we just talked about. Then after those 2 games released, Pilot Wings, Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, Donkey Kong Country Doppelgänger Feats, which was a co-development with Retro Studios, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, and then back to NASCAR. But it looks like it's going well, and as of January 4th, 2022, they've been acquired by iRacing, which is a subscription-based online racing simulation game, which enforces rules of conduct modeled after real auto racing events, thus focusing on extremely realistic driving experiences as close as possible to real life. I'm sorry? Like, I know they haven't been shut down or anything and the devs seem to be doing fine, but this is not their turf. We just talked about a game that had you drive as a rat robot, throwing pies in the clown faces and play tambourine with her extending robot arm. This is like if the people who made Garfield Kart were hired by the people who made Forza. I'm not mad, more just a bit confused by the decision, but if they have a job and everything's going well with them, I'm fine with it. But I'm not interested in that racing thing. I see subscription, I leave. Honestly, I don't know what to add more to this video, so let's call the curtains. Revisiting Excitetruck was a blast, and learning about the second game was even better. There are really underappreciated Wii gems that I fully recommend if you're someone who collects retro stuff. If I were to rate them, Excitetruck would land on a gentle 7 out of 10, and Excitebots on a generous 8 out of 10. And if any employee of Nintendo sees this, please make a remaster of both of those games. I would already throw my debit card into the game's clerk's face so quickly I'd slice through his head and sever his brainstem, if that were to happen. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Now how do I get a new game?